Dzień dobry moi drodzy, witajcie w ten piękny dzień, niedziela, świeci słońce, zielono, ptaszki śpiewają, a ja idę do pracy. No i kto jest mnie w stanie wyciągnąć z domu w niedzielę? Już Wam mówię, zwycięzca Eurowizji, Duncanem Laurencem. Właśnie zmierzam na wywiad z nim i tu myślę, że on nie wymaga już większych jakichś tutaj skomplikowanych zapowiedzi, tylko po prostu zapraszam Was do jego oglądania. Are you still processing the fact that you won like the biggest music contest in the world?
Well, if you say it like that yes. No, I am still processing. Yes, it has sunk in already. Luckily, because it was like, it was kind of emotional. The week after winning Eurovision, I got like so many positive reactions, messages, love from people. Sometimes unexpectedly, so it was an emotional roller coaster, but it's like sinking in, and really happy about it. Yeah.
Were you really surprised though, because I'm sure you knew that you had like a great song, but when you think Eurovision, you think like a big show, and you were there like just yourself, and I think you stood out from all the crazy stuff.
Okay, well, I of course I watched the whole show and all the others, and I was really struck by Mahmoud, and I was really struck by Michaela and Luca also. So I didn't really think, oh, I'm gonna win. I never thought, oh, I'm gonna win. I did see like the predictions and stuff, but those are predictions, and I don't really get into predictions because I'm a fact person actually. So the only facts that I had was like, okay, I'm gonna sing a song, I'm gonna make this performance all focused on the music, and I'm just gonna focus on what I should do there on that stage in those 3 minutes. So no, I didn't really expect to win. And if we have a look at the stats and at the numbers, you can see that Mahmoud was really close, and that's not at all what they had predicted in the predictions. So and also the predictions were sometimes really wrong. So I thought, hey, let's not focus on that. Let's just focus on what we have here in front of us and just enjoy the moment in the here and now.
So how has your life changed in the last 2 weeks? Because it must be crazy now.
Yes, it is crazy. Yeah, it's changed a lot. My private life is still the same, so I still see the same people, which is really nice because it's a great support. But the whole career side has changed definitely. Yeah. I get to travel, I get to meet new people, I get to do interviews, TV shows, radio shows all over and through Europe. That's a dream, really a dream come true.
So what's next for you when it comes to music? I've seen on your Instagram that you were at the studio recording still, even yesterday.
Yes, I was preparing for a big festival, which is next week on Monday. So I'm going to prepare for that this week. Pinkpop, it's one of the biggest festivals in Holland. After that, I will dive into the studio to make and record new music, which will be released hopefully this year, but single by single, and let's take it step by step.
Okay, so maybe let's talk about the new music, because the expectations are high now. And did you make the most of the new material before the Eurovision, or you were doing it now?
I did make most of it before because I didn't really have time to make new music. I did write a few new songs, but I couldn't really dive into it and finish them after Eurovision, but I'm definitely doing that as well. So it will be the combination of new material that I already had. It will be a combination of that. But to me, it's just if the message, the lyrics, and the song is still something that I value and that I think is emotionally connected to who I am today, then I will release it definitely. So yeah, it's a combination of old and new material.
So what's your songwriting method? Do you go to the studio and you have 10 hours to make a song, or it just happens?
Sometimes it happens in that kind of way, yes, especially when I go to other countries, for example, to Sweden or to Stockholm to write with other musicians. You only have limited time, so yes, we dive into the studio with 3 writers and then just try our best to finish a song, yes. And sometimes you don't, and you just work on it separately or whatever works. And sometimes I sit alone behind a piano and start an idea or finish a whole song by myself and then go to others. I do like the fact the whole teamwork thing. I do like writing with others, finishing things with others. I don't think maybe something that will be like something in the far future, but I don't like nowadays like to finish a whole song by myself, because I do like to have that perspective of others on the story, the lyrics, the melody, the chords, etc. So the teamwork works for me, but how many hours? It depends on the song, it depends on the story, it depends on with whom I'm writing. But a lot of times I just dive into the studio and the same day we have the song or the demo finished. Yeah.
What about the visual representation of your music? Because the video for Arcade is really like artistic, and it got a lot of attention because of like naked on it. So are you very involved with the whole
I am,
process?
yes. We had like the first meeting we had when we were like brainstorming the video. We met up with Paul Bellart, who's the director of the video, Ilse de Lange, who is my like mentor, creative person, like she's in my creative team, my management, and a few other people, like to really literally dive into what we wanted to represent and what we wanted to tell. And I immediately came up with a world within a world. So an underwater world is actually like this world on our own world, in our own world, our little planet Earth. And the whole fact of being in that world, not reaching the surface, kind of represented the hope and the love or the dream that you want to reach, but you can never touch. So the surface represented the hope, and everything above it represented what I wanted to grasp but never could anymore. The whole part of being naked was me trying to represent the most vulnerable a human being can get. So I was like, hey, I want to do this, I have this idea. And Paul was like, then you should be naked because it's artistic, but also explaining that vulnerability and also the kind of rebirth you get out of the unreachable. So yeah, it was kind of artistic and kind of philosophical, but it did its job really well, I think, and I'm really proud of the result, and I'm really proud of Paul, Ilse, and everyone who worked with me. But it was kind of a thing to get naked in the water with 15 people around you, crew. So yeah, that was, but I did it for the sake of art.
Yeah. Going back to Eurovision, I'm sure that everybody asks you this today, but what did you think about the Polish performance? Because we didn't get to the finals.
I couldn't get rid of the song. It was stuck in my head after that first semi-final, and I really liked it. I liked the outfits. I thought it was a bit like artistic, a bit darky on the performance, which I really love. Yeah, almost Lady Gaga-ish kind of outfits. So yeah, I liked it. Yeah, and the girls were really sweet. I met them in the hotel where I was staying because we were in the same hotel. So yeah, they were really kind and sweet. Yeah.
There was a bit during the Eurovision that got a lot of attention when you said during the press conference that you were bisexual. Was it deliberate from your part, or it was just like you said it because it's so natural for you to talk about
it? It was really natural, and it was. He said, "What did the Eurovision mean personally to you?" And I said, "I got to show people who I am," and that's the first thing that came to mind actually. Because I thought that's such an important thing for me, why not share it with the world? And I already shared it like 2 years ago on Instagram, and I'm really open about it. So it wasn't a call for votes or whatever they called it afterwards. I was like, okay, people, you make too much fuzz out of this, you know. I'm all about like saying something that I think is normal, and I do think if you say something and act like it's normal, people will find it normal in the end.
Yeah. When you did your first coming out on Instagram, like you said, were you kind of reserved that it's it can hurt your professional life, or it was no-brainer for you?
When I like the Instagram post, you mean? If it would hurt my professional life, then I wouldn't work with those people. No, not at all. I'm not going to work with people who don't accept me for who I am. So if it's not, and I think that a lot of artists get to do that these days, because we live in a world that is now like designed not only by the audience itself, because of YouTube, because of new generations who really accept people for who they are. Like my little brothers, they watch YouTube and they watch artists and vloggers and etc. who created themselves, who created their own platform and artistry, and never really like thought like, oh, that might be not useful to say, or I might hide my sexuality because otherwise I won't get an audience. That time is over, I hope, for artists, I hope. So I wasn't afraid to like come out, and it definitely not for my like career. No, but I do reckon it's different in a lot of countries. And I'm lucky that I was born and raised in Holland, and that we're open-minded, and that the countries around us are open-minded. So, yeah, but to like get back to your question, I think if you're like honest with yourself and you're just honest with the people around you and you just tell who you are, you'll be fine. Yes. For me, I know it's different with a lot of people, but for me that worked in my situation.
It's the beginning of the June. It's like a Pride month. Would you like to say something to Polish LGBT community, because we are having a Pride next weekend? So
okay. Well, the only thing I'd like to say is stay who you are, because that's fine. Be true to yourself, because it all starts there. And if you're not true to yourself, people will see, people will know. But just stick to who you are, be who you are, and you'll be fine, really.
I did some poll on my Instagram for your fans to ask some questions, and one that stood out for me was you said in one of the interviews that you were bullied in school.
Yeah.
And there was like a teenage girl asking, how did you overcome this? Because she's bullied now and she like looks for how to cope with it.
The most difficult thing was indeed to like overcome bullying was to change my own perspective. Not that I like changed my perspective like, yeah, that's why they bully me. No, I didn't do that. I just changed the perspective on focusing on their bullying. I was constantly focusing on, shit, they're gonna bully me, shit, they're gonna do this, oh no, they're gonna do that. I stopped that. I created my own safe haven, which was music to me. I felt safe in that. I stick to the people who actually loved me instead of bully me. I stick to them, and I just kept on seeing them and like meeting up with them instead of focusing or changing who I was or who I am because of the bullying. Sometimes you get to like when you get bullied, I stood in front of the mirror when I got bullied and said, okay, I think I need to change this, or I need to change this, otherwise I will get bullied more. And then all of a sudden I thought, you know, I shouldn't like focus on what they say, I should focus on what I think. And I should always keep in mind that if they bully, they are unhappy themselves. Because if you're happy, you won't bully. You're not going to wake up in the morning and say, oh, I'm so happy today, let's bully 5 people. That's not going to happen. So keep in mind that the people who are bullying you are unhappy. Keep in mind that if you focus on it, they will bully you more. So don't focus on them. Focus on the people who love you. Focus on the positive side. Find something you love. Find someone you love and stick to that.
So ending on a positive note, like you are on the top of the game right now. So is there any like dream collaboration you would like to do?
I'd love to collab with Troye Sivan, Lauf. I'd love to write a song with Alex Vargas. I'd love to write a song with Matt Corby, a lot of people actually, a lot of artists that I look up to, but also just people like Lorde. I love her songs. I love to just meet her and just have a chat about music because she is so inspiring. So yeah, a lot of people on my wish list.
Yeah. So I keep my fingers crossed for you.
Thank you, thanks.
Ja już jestem po wywiadzie. Powiem wam, że chyba zostanę po tej rozmowie fanem Eurowizji. Mega fajny, taki miły, i przystojny chłopak. Więc mam nadzieję, że Wam również się podobało i żeby nie przedłużać, bo już trochę zaczyna padać, to tylko powiem Wam, że w czerwcu planuję być mega pracowitym kolesiem i przygotowywać dużo tutaj materiałów, wideo, więc śledźcie mój kanał, oglądajcie, komentujcie i do zobaczenia.